I am so happy with how this looks for the Rangers. We have a pitcher, Jack Leiter, and he is a dude.
And while I do think his hitting is worse than Derek Jeter, it's not that far off.
You're not mentioning 2006. You can mention the other people, not 2006.
Oh, just because I bought the best soap doesn't mean your room's going to be clean. It just leaves it to where I don't believe that the Canadians had a shot.
I really don't like the Clippers just kind of sending it in when they're like,
Hi, this is Kelly Forbes with the Dallas Stars, and you're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week. You know, we talked about the Bucks and Sixers, and another team that Austin and I were both high on, and that, of course, is the man that is about to speak and that I mentioned before, Austin.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of injuries with the Pelicans this season. CJ McCollum's missing a lot of time. Herb Jones is going to miss a lot of time. DeJounte Murray broke his hand. And the more injury-prone guys on the team, Zion, Brandon Ingram, are healthy right now. They are 3-5 and 14th in the West. They have a long season ahead of them, but Kevin, should they be worried because some of these guys are getting hurt that aren't the injury-prone ones when they know the history of guys like Ingram and Williamson?
Yeah, I think it's good to consider just that's the reputation Ingram and Williamson have because of their injuries, and that's not really speculation. It's you kind of have to expect it. My thing is, I am worried if I'm the Pelicans because of Herb Jones, because to me, from what I understand, he was supposed to be their center and be a huge part of their team moving forward this season. And him not being there really hurts them defensively because of that center position. I think they were trying to keep Zion out of that center position. Then you also have DeJounte Murray, who's a guy they went out and traded for this past offseason, and something we're pretty excited about. So I do think you have to be a little bit concerned just given the fluidity of that, because DeJounte Murray didn't really have time to settle in and be with the Pelicans before he got hurt.
Yeah, and especially that early in the season, those games, you need to kind of figure out who you are as a team, especially when you add a player like DeJounte Murray, because it really will change how your team is oriented. Because I think CJ was really the point guard before, but now it's going to be DeJounte. But now both of them are hurt, so neither of them can really play that PG role. It's Jose Alvarado, who's still good. But I do think because of how good the West is and the injury concerns of a lot of the players on the team and then the actual injuries that have already taken place, I am worried about the Pelicans because, again, the West is so good. It's so competitive that every game matters. So the fact that the Pelicans have lost a game to Portland, they've lost a game to the Warriors without Stephen Curry. It's getting concerning because they're not winning the games they need to because of the injuries, and there's guaranteed to be more injuries at the end of the season.
Yeah, and to you brought up what I wanted to bring up as well is the West. Compared to the East, the video we did yesterday or 2 days ago, you have the East, the Bucks and Sixers are at the bottom 1-6, but the third team is 3-3, and that's the Heat in the East. In the West, the third team is the Warriors at 6-1. So it's going to be tough. And you're looking at the Timberwolves, who are at 7 right now, Nuggets, who are at 8. They're going to figure it out. I think the Timberwolves, they're a team that's figuring it out and just new moving pieces. That's another difference compared to the Bucks and Sixers is, to me, the DeJounte Murray move he was their number 1, number 2 guy. Whereas, and that's where you have to fit together with Brandon Ingram and CJ. CJ still has that chemistry with Brandon Ingram. He doesn't have that with DeJounte Murray. He was going to be a key part of that offense and of that team, which was going to push them and why we had him so high. So it's just concerned of, okay, because with Herb Jones out, who's playing center for them right now? Is it Zion?
It's Missy. Ives Missy and Daniel Tice. It's two different. It's a rookie and a Daniel Tice.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm wondering how much stress does this put on the guys, as you mentioned, that are expected to be injury prone, Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson.
Yeah, and that's a genuine concern that a lot of people have, I believe. and one that I don't know how you prevent, because you can't rest guys when other guys are hurt, right? You can't rest Zion like you may want to if there's other guys that are hurt, and you need to win these games, let alone. So I am worried about it. I don't know how much this impacts the season, but they need the guys back as soon as possible, and it's going to be multiple weeks until either of those guys come back. DeJounte, I think, will come back next week, but the other guys, it's going to be longer, and that at this point of the season is not good. I'll check on DeJounte. I don't remember if it was.
Did his happen during the season or right before the season started?
It was like the second game of the year.
Second game of the year, okay. But yeah, that's another thing, and he could play well and take a lot of that, but he is coming back from an injury as well. So it's really this balance, and I'm trying to remember. This is the second year for the head coach.
I was actually, I think this is the second year or third year, but
Yeah,
DeJounte's not going to come back until like 2 weeks from now.
Okay. So yeah, Willie Green became the head coach in the 2022 to 2023 season. So maybe.
So this is his third year.
Third year, okay. So this is something where he's used to this roster, but it is a lot of moving parts. So I am curious, how does he manage this, and how can they just stay afloat? Because you can't be last in the West and make a push to. It'd be tough to make a push to even get to the 8th seed, I would say, coming from second to last.
Well, and even if you're in that circumstance, right, you still will have to play in the play-in, and that will impact you greatly because you're going to have to play more games with more injury-prone players, and then also you're going to have to play a harder team when you get to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that brings up a good point of the injuries and to the playoffs. So it seems like we're in agreement of that. We are concerned about the Pelicans, and there's nothing. We don't see any pathways unless it's magic of getting the guys healthy again to where they can, or you just get a lucky season of Ingram and Williamson being hurt. But that's very optimistic from just given what has happened over the past few years.
Yeah, I completely agree.
That concludes our episode. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We appreciate you listening, and be on the lookout for videos as we have the NBA, NHL, and NFL all going on. We appreciate you listening. Make sure you're following us. Hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notifications. Also follow our Twitter and Instagram for notifications. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.